universe. And I want the money you want, and I want the girl you want, and I want the status you want, and the car you want, and the house you want. And I'm going to get it, and you're fucking not. I truthfully believe that the universe is a very giving place. And I don't want to sound, airy-fairy, but I truthfully believe that the universe is a giving place, and that if you actually really want something, how much you want is how much you're prepared to sacrifice. So if you want $500,000 a year, you can definitely make that. And that level of stress you'll absorb for that money, and the amount of headache you'll go through, if that's the amount you're prepared to accept for a happy life you'll have.
Do you think anyone could do that, though?
I think that you have to pre-decide, right? So even my level of wealth comes with enormous stress. Governments are after me. Like most people are not mentally prepared for the bullshit I go through. So the number one factor that's going to decide how successful you are as a person is your ability to absorb stress, your stress level. The better you are at dealing with stress, the more problems you can fix, the more money you have. So you have to decide, you could just be homeless and lose stress. You could just be a brokey, you'll be a dole, and just, I'm broke, but nothing really troubles me. So you have to decide on that level where you want, how much stress you can possibly absorb as a man. And then if you truly want that level, you're going to get it. I believe any man can make anything he wants independent. Anyone who here, I have no idea how much money you're making, but if you were saying, I'm going in my relationship, going in my social life, I'm going and I'm going nuts. I don't care what they do to me, I'm going to make it. You make a bunch of money, but there's a bunch of garbage that comes with it. So you have to decide, right? I sit here with a billionaire. I sit and say, I will teach you how to make money online. Anybody, 18 button work coaching, $49 a month. People will sit there in their brutal arrogance as a brokey with no money and go, yeah, but can he really teach me? I have everything you've ever fucking dreamed of. I have no money. You have nothing, and you're so arrogant that you believe you know more than me, that you can do it without me, but I don't know how to teach you. The arrogance of people is truly mind-bending. If you know so much, why not? You obviously don't know. If I went into a box, I wouldn't walk into a boxing gym, find a guy who can box, and go, yeah, not bad, but he's really fun. Like, this is how people think when it comes to money. You guys are all successful enough. You can sit and say, look, I do X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. So, do you want to play piano from the piano teacher, or do you want to sit there as an arrogant person? Most people are brutally arrogant. And you could sit there and you could try and help them, and they're just so arrogant. They think, oh, I can do it myself, or I'll work it out myself. I don't need help. And it's arrogance, and it keeps them at the bottom. Everything great that's happened to me in my life, someone taught me. I had a kickboxing coach. My dad was my chess coach. You get taught things. To sit there and think you're too good to learn. So this is the most people in the world. Most people are broke because they're arrogant. It's the truth. There's nothing to do with how stupid they are. They're just arrogant people. So if you love your family and you love your last name, you're proud of yourself, then you have a duty to be massively monumentally successful, to show homage to your ancestors. I find it amazing there are people out here today who say, oh, I'm sad, I'm too depressed, I don't want to work hard. Do you understand that only 200 years ago there were peasants out working a field, starving, surviving the Black Death, surviving the plague, struggling to exist just to reproduce, so that 200 years later you can be the end of their bloodline. You sit on your ass, fucking up. Well, you're a fuck up. You're fucking up your entire bloodline of your entire ancestry. You owe these people things. You must go through hell for you to exist. You have a debt. You have a duty to pay. You have to be the best possible version of yourself. And the same thing God loves people who try. God loves people who work hard. It's amazing if you try your very best all the time, what God will give you.
It's not lying.
He'll give it to you. Then you actually try. Not convincing yourself to try, actually trying. They're different things. But yeah, I was instilled with this because from a young age, my dad said, you're a tape. Tapes are the greatest people on the face of the planet. There's a day I'm not here anymore, and they're going to talk about me because of how fantastic you are. So go to your fucking job. So yes, sir. You know, one of the most terrifying but also gratifying things of life as a man is that we're all born relatively valueless. I don't think women are born which is born, especially if she's attractive, has innate value. People just want her no matter what. But as a man, if you're not important enough, nobody gives a fuck about it. And they're never going to care. So you have to build yourself from the ground up. And that's scary for a lot of people. But it's also a massive opportunity. You can decide if you want to be a famous musician, or a nice sensitive poet, or a painter, or a kickboxing world champion, or a businessman. You get to decide on all the different characters in the video game. You can choose who I want to be. If you actually try, you can become it. Isn't that amazing? You can wake up and go, you know what, I'm going to be this kind of guy. I knew who I wanted to be. I wanted to be this dude pulling up in the Lambo, 3 in the morning, gets out, and I'm like, who's this big, strong, rich dude? I wanted to be that man, so I became it. And if you don't want that, if you want to go be a musician to play guitar and get a bunch of chicks and chill in Bali and smoke weed and whatever, so you can choose your character and build it. You know the best way to build a strong mind as a man? What? Build a strong body. It's hard to have a strong mind without a strong body.
You gotta work me out, bro. I'm waiting on you to get me in the gym. Yeah. What? How long does it take to get into a routine?
Just
A month?
Yeah, but
Routine's about a month?
it's about the discipline you learn. It's about the pain. It's all. Because I'll tell you something. He doesn't feel like training every day, but he trains. It's not about feeling like doing. This is the point I said to you on my first ever stream. Like, what's the fastest way to get 6 pack?
I remember that. I know.
And young people say, why are you asking the fastest way? Why does it have to be quick? Why are you trying to find easy, shortcut, bullshit solutions that sometimes in life is just different? And the reason that he wants 6 pack is because it has value. The reason it has value is because people don't charge it yet. If everybody needs to get 6 pack easily and quickly, then you have to
Have a sick point.
I don't think so. Well, maybe. But that's not the point. The point is, no, it's not actually that. No. The point is, you have to do it when you don't feel like doing it. This is actually the bottom line of masculinity. The bottom line of masculinity, even not just in the gym, in nearly any realm of human endeavor, is as a man, good men or capable men do things they don't feel like doing. Anyway, they just do them. This, if you look at men, do you think the men in Ukraine and Russia right now feel like dying in a fucking ditch?
No.
No. Do you think the men train every single day feel like training every single day? No. Do you think the CEO who works his ass off 20 hours a day and doesn't see his children feel like doing it? No. This is part of being a man. You have to just do what you don't feel like doing. The men who do what they feel like doing are competitive. Women do what they feel like.
Yeah.
That's it. Men do what they feel like. I don't feel like working every day, but there's work. You feel like you don't feel emotions, you feel emotions. I would actually argue you feel emotions. It's certain emotions stronger than women. I would argue that we feel heart rate stronger than women. I would argue we feel anger like a woman would never understand. I would argue we are extremely emotional. Great. It's feedback. So when you get the feedback, it's all about how you internalize it, how you process it, right? It's not, stoicism is not feeling emotion. It's feeling emotion going, okay, why is this happening? How much does this really matter? What's the most intelligent move of chess? Chess is a fantastic game because in the game of chess, there's no luck. If you lose, no matter how well you play, if you lose, at some point you made a mistake. It's the most minor mistake. You made a mistake. So you learn to understand.
Made a mistake listening to Andrew Tate.
You lose a scenario if you made a mistake. Maybe it's a tiny one. Maybe it was 2 years ago. Whatever. But you made a mistake. And you learn absolute utter accountability. Accountability is extremely powerful to apply to things in life. The position I'm in now as the most hated man in the world, although I agree,
You did. That nigga was
I still take complete responsibility for
True, should I do that?
I'll tell you why it happened when I talk about TikTok, YouTube Shorts, but I'm not going to blame you. Absolutely, they're a company making money and they're monetizing the best they can. Fantastic. All of this is my fault. But the Bugatti on my driver's and the yacht is my fault. Private jets. So it's all my fault. No, I think the good with the bad. I take all responsibility for absolutely everything, including if a woman leaves me, a woman stays, if I end up heartbroken, if I end up filled with rage, I take responsibility. If something happens to me that makes me enraged, I will take responsibility. Why has this happened to me? Why do I feel this way? How did I end up in this position? You should be happy if you're not crying or paralyzed in silence due to the absolute magnitude of a detrimental circumstance or the absolute magnitude of a negative event, then you are a version of happy. So I am always happy, is the short answer. I don't believe in not being happy. I don't believe in not saying to myself I'm happy. I'm always a version of happy. And this idea of chasing happiness and always being concerned and preoccupied with how happy you are is actually the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, I think, in the world today. Especially men who wake up and say, I don't really feel happy, so I need to get happier. And that's how they end up down a hedonistic path of drugs or alcohol, gambling, chasing pleasure. I don't care how I feel. I don't care if I feel happy or sad. It doesn't really affect what I do. Each day I do the exact same things. I act the exact same way. I don't care. I don't put weight to the significance of the emotion. So I always consider myself a happy person, but if I woke up and I was slightly less happy one day than another, it wouldn't affect anything I do. I wouldn't put any split behind me in the next life. So yeah, am I any happier now that I have hundreds of millions of dollars? Well, I've tried very hard to curate it. what I have done, and what I think most people do not do, is heavily analyze why I hold the beliefs I hold, why they help me. If I don't hold the beliefs personally, or if I didn't learn it from personal experience, I know where it came from, who tried to teach me that, whether their intentions for me were good or bad. And I tried very hard to have my mindset rigidly analyze and make sure that it's put together in a way which benefits me completely and absolutely. And I do not believe in things that take away power from me. I refuse to do that. I would rather say that they are not real. People will sit here and argue to the end of time that they are real, but they're not real in my world, and I live inside of my mind. So even if you throw me in a Romanian dungeon, the idea that I become a depressed person is not framework that my mind works within, so I can't become depressed. I can feel a little bit sad, sure, I can feel depressed, but I can't be depressed. They're very different things. So that's just the mindset I've installed, and it's allowed me to be competitive. And I believe, personally, my personal beliefs are that life as a man is hyper competitive, and whatever software you have in your mind should be designed to make you as competitive as possible, and you shouldn't be believing in absolutely anything else. I've tried very hard to make sure all of my worldviews and all of my experiences and everything is created and aimed in a direction which is going to allow me to be a fiercer competitor in all ends of human living.
Mindset is your key to everything. Absolutely everything. Join the Top G's on Patreon.
There's a version of you that never sleeps in, never skips training, never wastes time. There's a version of you who never fails. It's waiting for you. Genuinely ask yourself the question, you at home, if you had done those things for the last 2 years, you never skipped a training, you never wasted time, you never scrolled TikTok, you never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, you never played video games, you never wasted time. Never skipped training. You were training. You never slept in. You were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you, and the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you, and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. He is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We're not from advantaged beginnings. But I knew I had to be a big, strong, healthy billionaire. That's what I knew I had to do. It's the key to success. Do not force yourself to do something you don't want to do. When you're ever going to put yourself to the suffering required for greatness. If you cannot force yourself to train, you do not want to train. Do not force yourself to work if you don't want to work. Force yourself to not live in the cornhole, or force yourself to eat right. How can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person and not control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. Children can cry because they feel like crying, as can a woman. A woman can start an argument because she feels like arguing, as can a child. A man must do what he is supposed to do, irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. You don't have to discipline to dedicate yourself to anything. You are going to fail and be crushed by it because you can. If you only go to the gym and feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be a stronger person. You go to the gym, you don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, it's true. And I explain to them, one, I don't believe in rest. But you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing on the gym for $50 an hour. I don't even listen to you. Secondly, I train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up, I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it, so I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do it, doesn't want to do it, it needs to be done. I am that man.
Securing
And
objective
it's more of a
Bravo.
mental exercise than physical
UAV
exercise at this
engagement.
point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential to success, and you need to get very comfortable, very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time
They're
when you
taking
hate
Alpha.
what you are doing, when you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, when you
The
are
enemy has
tired,
captured
when
2
you are
objectives.
stressed.
Get
That
them
is why
secure.
it is difficult. That is why most people won't
Securing
make it.
objective
If the
Alpha.
path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path. 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end, and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component to the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it, and you wouldn't want it. No one would respect it. It's
Enemy
supposed
securing
to be
Charlie.
hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain
Enemy taking
regardless.
Alpha.
Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari
We control
with a
2
full
objectives.
tank of gas. A lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they
We're
would say the
losing
drive
Alpha.
is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it, you can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive and end up at the destination. That is the majority of Earth. This is your competition. People who know
Securing
what are told
objective
what to
Alpha.
do. And people tell them exactly how to do it and help them do it. Still fail because they lack discipline. Even me, with my monumental powers, I can't make a quitter successful. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter how easily I make it for them to succeed. It doesn't matter how compendious and concise and powerful the real world is. It doesn't matter
enemy
how
holds
much I
2
text
objectives.
them and
Secure
motivate
those
them, how many
positions.
emergency meetings I
Securing
do to try and
objective
talk to
Bravo.
them and hype them up, how much motivation I give them. It doesn't matter what I do. If they're not a quitter, guess what they're going to do? They're going to quit. No
Friendly
matter
UAV
how
online.
simple the map
Yo,
is.
turn that shit off,
How
bro.
simple it
Shut the
is.
fuck up,
Somewhere
nigga.
along the drive, the sun's
Mute
gonna
me
get in
that,
their
pussy.
eyes.
Ain't nobody trying to hear that
And
shit.
they're gonna sit there and go, this is unlikely, this is hard, and they're gonna quit.
Nigga, get your life together, nigga. Go put some money in your fucking pocket. Over here wasting your life playing the fucking game and shit, you bitch ass nigga.
Cannot help a quitter. So if you lack discipline,
suck a
you lack
cock.
the very
You suck a cock, you broke
to any
bitch.
type of success which exists on the planet. By every single
Talk to me when you're touching 10 bands in a month,
you are
nigga.
going to stay a loser and a failure. The key is to keep
Friendly
training.
UAV on
If you
station.
train hard every single day, you don't have to worry about living about this. It's good. If you don't train and you don't smoke, you're still going to get this. Yes. The
Okay.
answer is always hard work. As soon as you are granted
Enemy
life, you are
securing
guaranteed
Bravo.
death. What you do in between is up to you. You are all conscious. That could end tomorrow, that could end in 100 years. But the time between the beginning of your consciousness and the end of it is completely up to you. Training is never the wrong decision. If you're in jail, you should train. If you are free, you should train. If you are
We've
rich,
secured
you
2
should train.
objectives.
If you are poor, you should train. If you smoke, you should train. If you don't smoke, you should train. If you drink, you should train. If you don't drink, you should train. You cannot escape that hard work. It's always the correct decision. There is no
Enemy
time
taking Bravo.
in any scenario when working hard is going to be the wrong answer. You should always try your very best in all things.
They're
I
taking
will
Alpha.
smoke 10 cigars a
Securing
day.
objective Bravo.
Beat the shit out of you. Because I train harder than you can possibly fathom. Pain is extremely important part of because pain is the elixir of success. When people say this bad thing happened to me and I'm suffering, I say good. It is pain which is required. It's one of the elements in the chemical reaction. The chemical reaction requires 5 particular distinct compounds. You have 4 and you're missing 1.
The
It simply
enemy has
doesn't work.
captured 2
Pain
objectives.
for a
Securing
man
objective
is one of the
Alpha.
most important elements to becoming successful. Batman is Batman because they killed his parents. If they did not kill his parents, he would not be Batman. You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to take that
Enemy
pain.
UAV active.
The worst thing that could happen to you as a man is you live a life with no pain in it. You're born into a rich family, have a nice, easy life, and be given money. And you don't have to go to the gym, not to train because you have bodyguards.
objective
Sit around
Bravo.
like a fuck up. You're going to be miserable and a drug addict buying prostitutes. You're only going to have women who adore you. You're only going to feel confident in yourself and feel happy. into hell and come out the other side. I don't know shit. That's the first thing. The second thing, you have all these different jurisdictions around the world. It's extremely complicated. How are you going to tax a rich guy? He has houses here, houses there, company here, company there. The company's making a lot. The Starbucks pay tax? No, the Starbucks no do doesn't make money.
Securing
So
objective Bravo.
Uber's never made profit. An app on the phone with millions of cars around the world and people working endless hours for them and then getting a cut of it. They want to
Friendly mosquito deployed.
supposedly live in a box and pay money tax. That's how that works. You can't tax the rich. It's too complicated. You can't tax the rich. It doesn't work. All you're going to do is keep driving into other countries. And we're going right now today to announce a huge tax on the rich. The rich people just go, okay, cool, I'll base my country out on Belize. 2 pieces of paper, fuck you. You don't really learn lessons
my
unless
enemies
they're
how
learned the hard way.
forgiving I
I believe that unless a lesson is taught the hard way, you're not going to learn it. You can have so many near misses, and people won't learn their lesson. Bro, you must know a guy who goes out there and nearly crashes his car, nearly crashes his car, nearly crashes his car, doesn't slow his ass down until he wrecks it.
Yeah.
Well, this is how people are, right? So you need that pain for the lesson to sting
Friendly
and that
cruise missile
the real
deployed.
thing to go
We
inside of your
control
mind.
two
And it's the
objectives.
same with everything. It's the same with driving a car or business.
Friendly
Truthfully, if you
mosquito
want to learn a
active.
lesson about business, you're going to have to suffer at some point, right?
Hostile
So we always
counter
say that
UAV
most people are not successful with their first companies, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. I get that. The truth is, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money with their first company, but they just act an idiot and all blows up in their face. And that's how you get the discipline on your fourth company that we got $3 million in the bank. You just leave it there. You know, and don't be done with it. So you need to go through some pain, you need to experience some negative things, you need to have a degree some trauma to really get learning lessons. So yeah, business studies, you're right, the book, that's nothing too teaching about business. You need to get out there in the streets, you need to make mistakes, you need to suffer, you need to have the tax stand up at the door, you got to deal with all that stuff so that you make sure it doesn't happen again. I really think that humans are stupid enough to only learn the hard way. That's kind of how it works. The problem with owning something is actually big. So let's look at it the American. Litigation's a big problem. Everyone gets sued all the time. So you don't want to own the thing. If you get sued, then you're going to have to pay that debt, and you might have to sell your assets to pay that debt. Not as it's your company though. So then you become that's the point. Yeah, but they'll own it themselves. Okay, so anything that's company. It's a limited company owns it. Yeah. So you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at the Panama Papers. Yeah. Look at it. And then it gets really complicated. This is what I'm saying with the average very smart. Yeah. Because let's look at Nike, for example. Nike doesn't pay much.
Spread it out!
Why does Nike not pay tax? So I'll give you a very simple thing for the companies. One set up in Belize,
cluster
for the 1% tax rate. One set up in Europe. The one set up in Europe sells Nike trainers, pays on the staff, pays the stores, sells all the shoes, makes all the money, makes millions and millions of profit. The one in Belize owns the trade. So for 100 million, 200 million, whatever it is, the European company, European company to get to Belize piece of paper of all the welfare. It's nothing. Yeah, right. That goes to Belize. Then Belize government comes on, goes, give us 1%. Nothing. Then we'll drop it. It's a scam. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. The person who gets caught is always the same. Guy in the middle. Yeah. Guy in the middle is going to get wrecked. It makes me laugh when they talk about, we're going to increase taxes for you. When they talk about increasing taxes, they're not trying to chase down the daily law, because they can't. They're trying to chase down the guy giving the dress. You can't leave with mortgage debt, 2 kids and a dog, living somewhere in Sunderland, and you stuck there. I walk in a gas station. What a gas station. No. I want serving. Okay, is the gas free? Because I filled up. So you're going to take my money or I'm going to have free gas? No, you have to pay. You're going to fucking serve me, dummy. Put a mask on. No. It's so stupid and sick. And you take my money. It's a big waste of the inside. And I say to them, bro, you're earning £700 a month. Working for a corporation that really give a fuck about it. To get stage 5.
Never again.
Why do you care? If I worked in BP, and someone walked into my gas station and decided to start a fire in the corner, and barbecue some sausages,
Enemy securing Charlie.
please stop, whatever. Listen, why are these people are so fucking about the rules of the BP station?
But do we need people?
Slave in your mind.
Do we need slaves though? Because obviously we need people to work and do those jobs that obviously the free people can't do.
And this is the full circle realization. You get to the point where, as frustrating as it was, you need this slave class of people to buy bullshit so that I don't have to do bullshit stuff, which is great. But usually the bullshit people can't tell me what to do. It's only during COVID they are allowed, and now that's all over. They can't tell me what to do anymore, so it's fine. But if you're, and not everybody's mind can be free because in society would break down. But Of course, some people's minds are designed for freedom and some people's aren't, but it's amazing when you're talking to the slave mind trying to get through to them. You have two choices. Either you understand what's happening in the world today and you're on the side of good and you're fighting against the Matrix, or you've accepted all the Matrix programming, pretend that there is no battle, and then by extension, you're going to end up fighting against your own mind. And you're going to be in a fight either way. Your mind's either right and you're fighting externally against the enemy, or you've accepted the Matrix programming and you're sitting there fighting against your own depression, your own anxiety, fighting against your own struggles inside of yourself. You're going to fight anyway. There's no way to avoid this. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to have control of your own mind and control of yourself and fight for God? It's a completely traditional, I'm at home, wife says come home. That's never going to happen. That's not who I am as a man. If I have a woman who I love with all my heart and we have children, I'm still going to be out. So whenever the fuck I'm out. I might be gone for 2 weeks, I'm out. See you. See you in 2 weeks. And if during those 2 weeks I meet a big booty, whatever, it is what it is. Doesn't mean I don't love my woman at home. Doesn't mean I'm not going to come back to her. But I'm just true to my instinct as a man. I don't think I should apologize for it. I think a lot of people are socially conditioned to apologize for things. That's not me. Society says I should do X. Society says I should do a bunch of dumb shit. Everything society tells me to do is wrong. So now society's going to sit here and say that I'm a bad person. If I fall in love with a woman, we have a child, I take care of her financially, she's safe, the child's safe, I love them both, I spend time with them, and sometimes I'm away with my brother, and there's a couple chicks around. Does that make me a horrible person? According to society, get fucked. Don't care. I do what I want. That's what I want to do at the time. That's what I'm going to do. My kids are broke. They are brokies.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they ain't going to get the lessons the other way. You know what? It's actually different. So if I had a daughter, my number one concern wouldn't be spoiling her. So I think spoiling a chick isn't even a bad thing, really. I don't think it affects their mentality nearly as much as a man. But the problem with spoiling a woman is if she has too much access to money, man's going to get hold of it. I've been around, bro. I know. Let's say I have a daughter and she's 18 and she has access to a bunch of money. Her boyfriend, whoever the fuck he is, if he has any game, is going to be in the club on my money, driving her fast car with no insurance.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? She'll be buying him nice presents and shit. So that one annoys me about the chick. She can't have any money because I don't want some fucking side kid.
Yeah.
My son ain't going to get any money because I don't want him to see his hunger. I want him to grow up, bro. I want him to go through all the struggles I went through. I want him to suffer. I want him to have that fire. I had some major disadvantages with that guy had zero access to money. My family was completely broke. So I will give him some advantages. Let's say that when I was a fighter and I was fighting, I couldn't pay the rent. With my son, when he wins his fight, I'll give him a financial bonus myself for winning. But he still has to go win. You understand what I'm saying? My kids are not going to be born into any kind of wealthy environment, in any kind of money. When I have children, I probably won't even raise them in a Western country, because I think Western countries are soft. Bro, if I have boys, I want them growing up in deep Russia. Like in the mountains with the goats. Like just running in the snow barefoot.
The Negroes.
Yeah, I want monsters. That's what I want. I don't see the point in having sending them to some private school and shit with the fucking talks. Yeah. I don't see that. I think the best education in the world comes from the streets. That's some hardship. I don't think a private school can teach my kids anything that I can't teach them that they actually need to know. So, our children are allowed to be very, very hard. I also think that a father's job is how Kai was. And earlier, this is about having one woman in the family, etc. I think a father's job is to be a role model, not a second mother. A lot of fathers think that they're a good father because they're home every day. Some does sometimes with kids, but I think you're also a good father if you live a life of exceptionality and that you lay a blueprint for your children to want to follow. My sons are going to grow up and see how I live and want to be like me. That means they're going to need certain attributes, right? If I'm home every day changing diapers, it's not the same. My dad is barely around, but he's super.
Never again.
I want to be like super. So it's not so much about with a female, with a mother, it's about the quantity of it. With father, I really think it's about the quality. The mother does diapers, the food, the basic tenets of life. Right? But the true exceptionalism is going to come from the father, and to do that, you need to be a role model. Yeah, that means you have to be out conquering the world. You have to be out conquering the world. So, I have a showbiz version. Like, I can walk around my house with my chick, talk about the Matrix structure and statements. Right? She knows it. I've said it a few times. She already knows the story. So it's just me and her. I don't have to sit her down and say, listen, bitch, you went to school, you're dumb. I don't have to do that. Right? There's a time and a place. Yeah. But it's all very real. These are the things I say. These are the things I believe. These are the things I talk about in my private networks. I just don't talk about them Here to public, I don't talk about them nearly as deep or as advanced. Amongst my private networks, I like to talk about them at a much more intricate level because to the normies, to the brokies that already listen, they say in the movie, people who are still dependent on the system will fight to defend the system. There are people who will sit there and say to them, look, the university degree is a system. They lied to you. I will show you how to make money. Their reply will be, no, I went to a good university. They are desperate. That degree means something. It would be great. But you shut up. They won't accept it, right? So people are not ready for the truth. People who are ready for the truth seek it, they find it. Those are the people I talk to inside of the war and us university. I talk to them on a much deeper level. But yeah, this is all very, very real. I'm going to show this version of myself because in the world we live in today, you need to be able to get information across continuously and precisely. No one has an intention.